Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Rocqi, your revolutionary hippie from LifeIsRocqi. Please like, share, and subscribe. So today on my Becoming a Feminine Woman series, what are your husband privileges? You know, people say shacking up, going into legal binding contracts, having children, all of these are something they will only do once they're married. However, me, I've lived with my life partner for over 3 years. We just went into official legal business together last year. Well, no, it was this year. Holy shit, this year. That's when we actually formed our LLCs. So now between the two of us, we are the proud owners of 5 different businesses. Yes. And that's just us getting started. As far as children, I did say that I wanted to have children before marriage, but that was more just logistics, just because marriage takes, like, the wedding takes a back seat once you have kids. Like, yeah, so that was my whole theory around that. But as far as having children, I didn't want it to be an accident or unplanned, as some prefer the PC term. Like, conception should be intentional to me. That's how I practice intentional parenting. I'm also intentional in choosing the co-parent of my children. So the fact that I had already chosen my co-parent, and I'm confident in us raising our children together, no matter what our romantic relationship looks like, the fact that we will be good parents and we can still communicate and be a family together, that was important to me. But yeah, so I'm looking at other people's husband privileges, and I'm like, since I've been engaged, there has been a shift, and apparently I had some of my own, which I did not know about. So let's hear them, shall we? Maybe I took a lesson from my ex, I don't know, but head seemed to be a husband privilege. Maybe I'm just more enthusiastic about him. I don't know. Something shifted, and it was like, maybe I realized how much he loved me, by proposing. Because, I mean, it was like a vulnerable act of expression of love, So maybe that's what it is, but I don't know. Something shifted, and now I am focused on his pleasure more and less on what I want. And I think that may be the theme, because I'm generally catering to him more. I'm making sure that he's eating. I'm making sure that he's doing the things that he needs to do in his day. And I'm just generally considering him more, prioritizing him more. And that definitely wasn't always the case prior to our engagement. So maybe that was the shift in what the husband privilege was, even though we're not even married yet. We just engaged. but I mean, planning the wedding and shit. So yeah, but yeah, like, maybe that's what it was. It's like, I realize how serious he is, and therefore I can up my ways of showing him that I love him. Maybe that's what it is. But I am curious to know, and this is something that I've asked in Facebook groups, like, okay, so what are your husband privileges, right? And why are those things specifically only husband privileges? Like, why can't a boyfriend have that? And for me, it was always like, well, why am I going to marry someone if I don't know? Like, if I don't know how it's going to be, why would I sign up for a surprise, basically? Does that make sense? Because I'm like, I would never marry someone without living together. Because good God, we learned so much about each other just living together. And it was entirely different living together separately than versus when we started practicing togetherness. And that's when a lot of the expectation comes out, a lot of the discussion about roles came out, a lot of discussion about our strengths and our capacities came out. And that only happened while we were living together, and then with the intention of practicing togetherness. Whereas if you don't live together, you only figure that out in marriage, and sometimes it's too late to come back from that, you know? So yeah, living together was definitely not a husband privilege for me. And like I said, I believe in families outside of a romantic relationship. I believe there can still be love between parents. I still believe it can be healthy co-parenting dynamics. We see it with our cousins. So, like, people be selfish in that shit. Focus on the children. The fuck? But anyways, so yeah, and I was questioning this the other day. I was like, is it the ring? Because he's asked me to marry him before without a ring. I've said yes every time. And he's like gotten on his knee before. But something about getting on his knee with a ring that he paid for. I don't know if that's the Disney fairy tale. I don't know if that's a perceived act of submission on his part, which may be the case. I mean, kneeling essentially is referring to that. But yeah, I don't know what shifted, but something did, and now I am much more catering to him. I have to remember my boundaries and not get overwhelmed, because I have noticed some of that, because it's just so much, and I'm like, wait a minute, I got shit I gotta do, you know? But yeah, like what reasons as to why that's only allowed in marriage, you know? Because business paperwork are also legal binding contracts, you know? So, but yeah, I'm curious as to your thoughts. Let me know them in the comments below. And I'm enjoying this shift, honestly. I'm enjoying catering to my man, you know? I made a whole playlist of Beyonce songs talking about catering to him. And I realized Beyonce has a very good balance of owning her masculine and her feminine in her career, but also catering to her man, embracing her feminine energy with her man. Now, yes, there's been infidelity and stuff like that. However, Oso and I are polyamorous, so we don't really have to deal with that bit. Yes, there's still cheating within ethical non-monogamy, which I think is totally stupid, and what is wrong with you? Because you literally have options. But that's just like power and control. Like, you just have issues. But yeah, so don't foresee that being a problem. So therefore, yeah, I get to just cater to my man. And that's rewarding in and of itself, that I have the freedom to do so. That I don't have to feel like I'm giving my all and getting taken advantage of. I'm just free to express my love for him. You know? That's a good place to be. And maybe because of the ambivalence in the beginning of our relationship, something in me was shutting some of that down. I don't know. I haven't totally figured it out. This is my first time kind of exploring the idea. But yeah, I'm curious to see how it is moving forward. Once we're actually legally married, if anything changes. But for right now, I'm being present with my life partner, with my fiance, and enjoying our time together and enjoying our love for one another, you know? But all right, yeah, share, have these conversations, see what you and your friends think, and subscribe. Take care of you.